Hello YouTube, my name is Plazookas, and today's video is going to be on GTA 6. Before we begin, let me just say that any analyst out there, whether it be Digital Foundry, whether it be IGN analyst, or whoever else is taking the mantle here and saying that GTA 6 is not going to be able to run at 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 Pro, they need to take a step back. I mean, I'm certain that they're just looking for views and engagement, and that's fine. I guess that's the ecosystem we live in. But Sony PlayStation is not going to release a console where it is probably doing it in conjunction with GTA 6. They're probably in talks with each other, I'm sure, because they've had relationships in the past, Rockstar and PlayStation specifically. They're not going to release a console that cannot take full advantage of Grand Theft Auto 6. Period. And if you think that this upgraded hardware will not be able to run the most important, most successful video game in the history of video games, then you don't know anything about the business of selling hardware. This is Sony's PlayStation's biggest bet for a console. This is why you make a console. This is why you continue to make a console when the entire industry is saying we need to shift and not make consoles anymore and just become a cloud, digital distribution system. And that consoles are never gonna, get through a certain seller base. And because we're hyper capitalistic and we need to make more money than we made the year before, console business is going out of style because we can't sell 1 million more than we sold the year before. Even though we're selling 5 million a year. That's still not sustainable, apparently. If you think they're not thinking about this, that GTA 6 will run at 60 frames per second, then I don't know who you are. And this is also another thing that we have to talk about. We don't know if the CPU is going to be what it's been leaked as. We think that all the information that's come out is 100% accurate. And I would suggest that it isn't. I would say that if there's anything that's going to change within those specs that were leaked, it's probably the CPU. Now, I will admit one thing. CPU shortages are a thing. During COVID, there was a huge processing issue, and that most likely led to the decision for them to do their development kits potentially with the CPU that they have, because it's the one they already have in production. And they could probably facilitate enough to be able to sell a new console with. And they didn't want to take a chance of doing any kind of new hardware or new improvements because of cost and because of supply chain issues. However, even if, let's say, the CPU is what launches with the PlayStation 5, we don't know how R&D leverages that with the new GPU. We don't know how it leverages with AI technology or machine learning. The bottlenecks that were happening previously for a console may not be there anymore. And maybe the next evolution of what these console makers, even Microsoft, is talking about has to do with the utilization of the pipelines, in that the bottlenecks are not as important as they used to be because of how things are micromanaged on an AI perspective, on an AI system, where they can say, this is taking that, that is taking this, and we can move that over here to do that, so to make this to work at 60 frames per second, at 1080p, at 4K, at 8K. We don't know any of those things. And then we also don't know if Rockstar is changing the way they develop games. Maybe they're not as CPU reliant or as GPU reliant as they used to be. Maybe they are using different pipelines or methods that's going to reduce the amount that is going to be required for those particular systems. There are some games that are optimized better than other games. That's what we've known historically throughout the entire video game history. And to suggest that GTA 6 is going to be this clunker that's going to require all the processing power, all the graphical power to get the results that we've seen in that trailer, I think is a bit presumptuous at best. And we just need to take a step back and realize that, and they could make a mistake. Sony PlayStation could literally release this thing and it be as advertised and it be as clunky as it is, and it only runs Grand Theft Auto 6 at 30 frames per second, and unless it's exclusive to that hardware, it's probably not going to sell it. And people will just buy the PS5 version and get what? Downscaled resolution for 30 frames as well. They already own the system, so why upgrade? No, it's not going to happen. Therefore, Grand Theft Auto 6 will run at 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 Pro and 30 frames per second on the PS5. If it doesn't, and it's running at 30 frames on the PS5 Pro, then it will be exclusive to that platform, and that's the selling point, not the other way around. My name is Bazookas. If you like this content, like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.